We're Crystal and Brian, and this is Vanhalla Adventures. Before we began van life, there were many things to consider, and we had a lot of questions about how to make van life a reality. We had no experience building out a van and felt overwhelmed by the entire process.
We just got electricity.
We've learned that preparation is key, and there are many things you need to do before you even start your van conversion. Today, we're going to be sharing with you 7 steps to prepare for van life and building out your tiny home on wheels.
Hey everyone, we're stoked to talk to you today about how to start van life, how to get your butt on the road, even if you have no experience building out a van, you are scared of electrical work, plumbing, you just really have no idea even how you're going to afford it, all those fears and doubts and everything like that. This is going to give you a 7-step guide to get started right now, even if your job won't let you travel, any of that stuff. This is really going to give you a guideline so that you can make this a reality. We have been through all of the doubts and fears ourselves, so we totally get it and understand all the different things that can come up when you're about to start van life. And I also want to mention that we have a blog post all about this, also with some downloadable PDF that we're going to get into here in just a few minutes. But don't go to the blog just quite yet, but be sure to check it out in the link below in the description. So, tip number 1 to get started is your budget. Your budget is probably one of the biggest parts about starting this. Not necessarily how you're going to live on the road. You can figure that out later. But how you're going to be able to afford your van build, how you're going to really be able to start getting on the road initially.
How much money you got?
How much money do you have? This is a big piece of it. Are you going to be building out your van over a long period of time? Are you going to have monthly income that you can consistently put into the van? Are you going to have a big chunk of money all at first that you can put in to the van, the purchasing the vehicle and the van build materials? Those are really 2 separate things. So you really have to be able to understand how much of a chunk of money you have up front and also what you'll have coming in every single month that you can put into the van itself. We will be making a video about how to afford van life, as this is something you are concerned about because you're not quite sure how to make it happen. We're going to do a whole video just on that within itself. So let us know if you do have specific questions before we film that video. So put those questions down in the comments below.
Number 2 is choosing your vehicle. What kind of van you want? Do you want a long one? Do you want a short one? Do you want a tall one? Do you want a 2-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, all-wheel drive?
Yeah.
Do you want a Sprinter? Do you want a ProMaster? Do you want a Transit?
Also thinking about your budget when you're looking at these different vehicles. That's why you do budget first.
They all cost all different. They're all different prices.
And prices. And are you okay with a used vehicle versus a new vehicle? If you're someone that is really handy, good at car repairs, if you break down, are you feeling capable enough that you could fix minor things yourself? That was something that we really thought about when also getting our vehicle. Of course, your budget, like we had mentioned, and yeah, the height of it. Like for some people, they're okay living in a van that's a little bit shorter where they can't stand up all the way.
Yeah, do you want a short wheelbase? Do you want a long wheelbase? You're concerned about turning radiuses and city driving, parking, all those come into factor.
So think about all those different things as you're choosing your vehicle. Number 3 is designing your van layout. This is probably one of the biggest parts of figuring out your van build. To do this prior, don't just throw in cabinetry or anything just because you found it and hope it will work. You really want to design to spec if as much as possible. I'll put it that way. And you're going to want to think about how you live and your non-negotiables. This is probably the biggest part about it. Your non-negotiables, your absolute priorities versus more of your luxuries or wants, things that it would be super awesome if you could fit them in, but they're not a priority. So over on the blog, after you watch this video, go check out the downloadable PDF that I have made that helps with budget and also helps you divide your non-negotiables versus your luxuries so you can really see what is possible. We did our list like this over and over several times.
Oh, yeah.
There were definitely a couple things that I originally thought would be priorities, like air conditioning, and they didn't get put in for various reasons. We also have a video about why we don't have air conditioning, which I'll put a little link up here. But that's something to really think about, is how you're going to live and designing it to spec, which also then goes back and forth with your budget. So really play with this, do the research, go on, you know, like you're watching YouTube right now, look at other people's van conversions, what you like. Is it not just pretty? I know it's like really, for us, like we were looking at Pinterest and YouTube and all these things were very beautiful, but then we're like, it's not actually realistic. Like we thought like, oh, we'll just work next to each other. That way we had more room in the doorway, but we realized we can't actually work next to each other because we'd be bumping each other while we worked. Yeah. So you really kind of have to think about your daily life, just like the flow that happens within your home. And it might be a different design than what's beautiful, but functionality in van life is everything. So spend a lot of time doing this. You'll probably do it like 6 different times.
Yeah.
I would say. Ours, it went over and over.
Next is calculate your energy usage. This will determine your design.
This will be part of it, yeah.
Part of the design.
It will influence it. Kind of goes back and forth.
It's based on certain appliances that you have, batteries you have. You got to make room for that. Solar on the roof, like how you want to design it up there. Just any kind of appliances that are must-haves for you. And
really knowing your energy usage will influence your design and also possibly change your layout so slightly. So like all these things will start to like calculate together. If you're like, yeah, I don't even know how to calculate that. That was one of our things. Like, how do we know how much batteries to get? Are we just guessing?
We use this guy, Nathan, on explorus.life.
Amazing.
Yeah, very amazing. You go on this guy's website and he's got all the different scenarios. Like if you want this much battery, you need this much solar. This is the type of wire you need right here, right there, right there. All different types of scenarios, all different types of battery banks, amp hours. And that's how we designed our electric. It'll calculate how many amp hours of batteries you need.
Yeah.
And how big of an inverter you need. Yeah. It's got everything in there and it helped us big time.
Yeah. And this is something you can totally geek out on before, like if you're even like, okay, how am I going to make this happen? This will help start that process to kind of like alleviate that fear or any trepidation you have about electrical, because the layouts are awesome. I think we used that Excel spreadsheet and we redid it several times as we were figuring out
like 10 different times.
10 different times figuring out, like I was trying to bring a blow dryer and I realized that's just like not realistic. So definitely go check out explorus.life. We put the link also in the description below. You'll definitely want to check that out. Yeah. Next tip is, where are you going to build the van? Okay, so you're starting to prep all these different things and really kind of see like what is this going to look like to build the van? Now, for some of you might be like, well, that's easy. I have a garage. I'm just going to do it at my house. Great. You don't really need to spend much time on this step. And also, like, if your budget is a concern, do you have the availability, like we mentioned earlier, to possibly sell your stuff and move it in somewhere temporarily? As you start ordering parts, you're going to need a garage or a space to put all the stuff in. So you really kind of have to think like, oh, where's a workshop area that I can use?
Yeah. Next is start ordering parts that are essential, like your toilet, like a water heater, an inverter, solar panels, things that are usually out of stock sometimes when you're trying to order things. Especially now, a lot more people are building vans now than they were 2 years ago. If you want a Sprinter, you put like $1,000 down and you wait 9 to 12 months to get your van. So right there, that's the first thing you probably want to do.
Yeah, that'll help you though in terms of preparing, really doing the research of learning how to do the electric, how to do the plumbing and everything like that. So now you got your layout, you're starting to order all those big items. The next thing you can do is start searching around for any items that might be pre-made that you could put in your van, because this can cut back on van build time.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. Like they'll do like the IKEA hacks.
That's something you could totally do. I think if you weren't helping, like if you weren't doing it and I was a solo female van lifer, I think that would have been something I would have looked into. Yeah. I don't think we mentioned this at the beginning, but preparation truly is everything when it comes to starting van life, even during van life, and for your van build. Like you really have to prepare so far ahead, so it'll be a lot smoother for you. So even if you really don't think this could be a reality for you, plan as though it is. And that'll make it a reality. I think that's what
manifest it.
You manifest it. You create it. You know, that's something I've really learned is we were just like, make the decision, you're going to do it and it will happen. Just start putting everything into place as though it will. And I can pretty much guarantee that it'll happen for you. So those are 7 tips, but we do have one more bonus tip. Yeah.
Oh, what's that?
We do a bonus tip. So start asking friends, family, anybody you know to come and help you. Yeah, because that's what we did. A lot of people also, because this is more of a popular thing now, we noticed that a lot of people were pretty stoked to help out in some way.
Yeah.
So, you know, it could be paid, it could be non-paid. You could do a trade if you're like, hey, my budget's kind of low, but I really need help with plumbing. You know, reach out to your friends that might know a little bit about that. I don't know, bake them cakes for a week or, you know, something, you know, see what kind of trade you can give off of for that. Ask for support. It's okay to not know how to do something. And it's okay if it's your first van, if it's not your dream van. I just want to put that out there too. Really just think about how you can make a reality where it is now. You can always sell it and then do another one, like as you learn. So just want to put that out there for all of you. So those are 7 tips to get started. Yeah. And then after that, you start your build. That is all the preparation.
Prepare.
Yeah. For so long. I think we took a year of solid preparing before and it was 2 years prior that we kind of like, started looking up stuff, but then a solid year of planning and research. So just know it does take time. Like we said, be sure to head over to the blog. We have some more details on all of these steps and also a downloadable PDF for all of you to help you begin this process. And we'll be putting together a series like that elaborates on some of these steps on how you can afford van life, common van build mistakes, and how to create the perfect layout and other great stuff like that. So be sure to subscribe if you have not already.
And we will see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.